You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at Vite Vinosteria, near our studios near Hellgate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Monday the 22nd of December, 2025. It is one day after the fall equinox. It is 88 days before the summer solstice. The sun rises today at 7:17 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 11:54 a.m. The sun sets today at 4:32 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 5:03 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 5:38 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 seconds longer than yesterday. The days are beginning to lengthen. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 7% full at midday. The moon rises today at 9:28 a.m. The moon sets today at 6:55 p.m. The first quarter will arrive on Saturday, the 27th of December. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the early morning, low tide, 5:11 a.m., 9 centimeters. Near midday, high tide, 11:32 a.m., 1 meter 46. In the evening, low tide, 5:49 p.m., minus 12 centimeters. This is the Monday Reservoir Report for New York City. The Delaware watershed, Cannonsville, 52% full. Papacton, 61%. Neversink, 71%. Rondout, 92%. The Catskill watershed, Schoharie, 31%. Ashokan, 76%. The Croton system, 94% full. We are well below our yearly average. In our shared realm of plants and animals, on a recent blustery day, a clear sky gave way to a sudden violent squall. Sheets of rain fell on the streets. In its aftermath, as the skies cleared, violent gusts battered the streets. Domestic dogs on their evening walks were spooked by the weather, and in strong gusts, even medium-sized dogs were thrown off their feet. But more alarming to the dogs were the large plastic trash cans. Tossed on their sides by the wind, they rolled around in the streets, and for many dogs, these presented themselves as strange, monstrous objects, moving unpredictably and emitting a strange roar as they turned and turned on the pavements. Commemorations. On this day in 1895, the current flag of Puerto Rico was adopted in New York City by the exiled Revolutionary Committee of Puerto Rico. It was just 3 years before the Spanish-American War would lead to the island's independence from Spain and the beginning of American control over the island. Independence would not be in the cards. New Yorkers will of course recognize the flag, 5 horizontal stripes of red and white, with an equilateral triangle at the hoist, bearing in its center a white 5-pointed star. Early on, the blue triangle was sometimes rendered in a very light blue, a tribute to the earlier independence flag hoisted during the Lares Revolt. Today, it is always a deep, rich blue. On this day in 1945, President Harry Truman issued an executive order prioritizing refugees in the granting of visas to immigrants to the United States. Although he did not challenge the highly restricted immigration quotas in place at the time, he wrote an impassioned plea for aiding those displaced by war, appealing to, quote, common decency and the fundamental comradeship of all human beings, unquote. We wish a happy anniversary to the international aid organization Doctors Without Borders, or Médecins Sans Frontières, founded this day in 1971 by a group of doctors and journalists in France. It continues its work to this day, especially in zones of strife and in the developing world, and is active in 70 countries. An anniversary to ponder. On this day in 1984, Bernhard Goetz shot 4 black teenagers on the No. 2 subway in Manhattan. He claimed they were trying to mug him, although accounts of the event differ. At trial, he was convicted of carrying an unlicensed firearm, but the jury found him innocent of the most serious charges, including attempted murder. It was a period of high crime in the city, and his case became a lightning rod with its implications around vigilante justice. One of the young men who were shot was paralyzed for life. Today we remember Austin Norman Palmer, born this day in 1860. He devised the Palmer method for teaching cursive writing. For almost a century, his method was the dominant method of teaching handwriting in the United States. One of the key principles of his method was the use of muscle motion, encouraging writers to use movements of the arm rather than just using their fingers when they were writing. Now that cursive is largely ignored in schools, let us remember A.N. Palmer today. And that is the Observatory, Monday the 22nd of December, 2025.